Coming up, the curious case of Nigel Farage and Reform Party UK Limited, a political entity that, despite its populist facade, has become a magnet for billionaire benefactors. In this video, I'll explore the financial backing from oligarch figures like Nick Candy, Peter Hargreaves, and the ketamine-addled Elon Musk, and ask the question, why is it that these ultra-wealthy individuals are so eager to support a so-called man of the people like Nigel Farage and gift massive donations to a limited liability company stroke protest group that claims to champion the interests of the common man? And I do mean specifically man. Stay tuned. Nigel Farage has long portrayed himself as the quintessential man of the people, a defender of the average Briton against the so-called elite. No matter that we're talking about a privately educated investment banker who made his fortune in the city, a fundamental part of the very elite that his rhetoric targets. This deceitful man of the people image also seems increasingly at odds with the company he keeps and the financial alliances that he forges. Last month, in December 2024, property developer Nick Candy, who self-identifies as a self-made billionaire, a close friend of Boris Johnson and a former Conservative Party donor, Candy joined Reform Party UK Limited as its treasurer, and Candy's role isn't just ceremonial. He and Farage are set to host a £25,000 a head fundraising event in central London with the stated objective of amassing well over £1 million for the funding of Farage's latest political vehicle. Candy told the Financial Times that even the big Tory donors are calling me. A lot of people will join us. The movement has started. Candy added, "We have a number of billionaires prepared to donate to the party, not just Elon. The Reform Party is the disruptor," he said. "This is the seed round, the Series A. This will be political disruption like we have never seen before." And it looks like, despite that Trumpian language, Candy may not be talking pure bollocks. This week, another billionaire, Peter Hargreaves, co-founder of Hargreaves Lansdowne, suggested he will switch alliances to Reform Party UK Limited if they appear more likely to win the next general election than the Tories. And this is someone who used to be a major financial backer of the Tories, on one occasion gifting £1 million just in one go. Hargreaves was also a vocal supporter of Brexit and gave £3.2 million to the Brexit campaign group Leave.eu. I'm going to suggest that this was through self-interest rather than any sense of patriotism, because, like other billionaires, Hargreaves must have been concerned about EU rules on sheltering multi-million-pound offshore investments from tax. 20% of all political donations in the UK come from just 10 men, and the objectionable fat cat Hargreaves is one of them. You have to ask the question, what exactly is in it for Hargreaves and the other oligarchs to lend their financial weight to Reform Party UK Limited? It's hard to imagine how the interests of billionaires like Nick Candy and Peter Hargreaves align with Farage's own constituents, the man and woman on the Clacton omnibus. And of course, there's another notable billionaire flirting with Reform UK Party Limited, who's even more distanced from your average person using any form of public transport in a holiday resort town in Essex. And that's the increasingly unhinged honorary president of the USA, Elon Musk. That said, of course, Musk has now said that the Reform Party needs a new leader. Farage doesn't have what it takes. A sentiment that Farage himself attributed to a disagreement over support for the far-right activist Tommy Robinson, real name Stephen Yaxley Lennon. Farage distanced himself from comments made by Musk in support of Yaxley Lennon, the anti-Muslim activist, football hooligan and all-round thug and grifter, an Irish national who tries hard to present himself as more British than the British, even adopting the pseudonym Tommy Robinson in a pathetic attempt to associate himself with the Tommies in the British trenches during the Great War. Yaxley Lennon is currently serving a prison sentence for contempt of court, and even Farage knows that Yaxley Lennon is a common crook whose sentence was entirely justified. But the misinformed Elon Musk believes that this serial violent offender is some sort of political prisoner, a victim of what Musk perceives as a communist regime headed up by the radical left-wing firebrand Sir Keir Starmer, the man who the majority of British citizens see more as a soggy bog roll of a prime minister than as a socialist firebrand. But despite this public spat between Musk and Farage, Musk's interest in influencing UK politics through the medium of a post-Farage Reform Party UK Limited remains evident. So it's a paradox, isn't it? Why are Musk and other oligarch billionaires flocking to support a party that purports to represent the average citizen? I think I've hinted at the answer in the use of my phrase, purports to represent the average citizen. Reform Party UK Limited's policy platform includes reducing government intervention, reducing the welfare state, reducing employment rights, restricting trade unions, deregulation of corporations, lower taxes for the rich, lower corporation tax, and opposition to net zero climate policies and green investment. Each one of these positions aligns seamlessly with the financial and ideological interests of the ultra-wealthy oligarch class. By backing a party that advocates for minimal regulation and a smaller state, these billionaires stand to benefit from policies that favour their business ambitions, their lust for influence, control and power, and last but by no means least, their own personal wealth and profits. Just like other far-right populist leaders throughout history all over the world, this influx of billionaire support starkly contrasts with Farage's self-styled image as a populist leader, a beer-swilling, fag-smoking man of the people. It's political sleight of hand, presenting oneself as a champion of the working and middle classes while being bankrolled by the oligarch class and large corporations. Now, I'm not saying for one moment that Farage is a Nazi. Of course he isn't. But there are obvious parallels between this situation and the scenario in which Hitler came to power. I think it's pretty obvious to anyone politically non-tribal like myself, anyone able to view UK politics objectively, what the true motivations are behind Reform UK's policies and whom they ultimately serve. Follow the money. I lost my father rather unexpectedly yesterday, so I'm going to keep this week's video fairly short and wrap things up here. But I just want to say it's essential to recognise the humongous gulf between Reform Party UK Limited's populist rhetoric combined with Farage's studied Man of the People Act. Contrast that with the interests of the elite, the oligarch class it is funded by and whom it caters to. The support from billionaires like Nick Candy, Peter Hargreaves and Elon Musk is the opposite of philanthropic. It's a strategic investment in a political landscape that they are betting will serve their interests and provide a massive return on capital employed. I fear for the future of politics in Europe, the well-being of the average person and those less well off than the average person. But I'll admit, me personally, I'm okay. I own my own house. I've got some savings. I'll survive. The people I really worry about are the very same people who are fooled into voting against their own interests by the showmanship of Elon Musk and Donald Trump. The people who are taken in by the deceitful facade of oligarchs like Nick Candy and Peter Hargreaves and the entertainment value of cynical, money-obsessed grifters like Nigel Farage.